Live from parts unknown, you're listening to Simon Miller's Pro Wrestling Podcast, the only wrestling podcast on the planet, we think. Sit back, relax, prepare for positivity to run through your veins as Simon Miller gives you your weekly dose of powerful pro wrestling audio. It is Miller Time.
Hello and welcome to Simon Miller's Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Simon Miller. Thank you very much for joining me today on what is going to be a Friday, because I was away for some of the week. And I'm also very happy to say that I have a good friend joining me, Patreon member Tom Anson. How you doing, Tom? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you back. Tom has been on before. And again, you can come on the podcast by visiting patreon.com/Simon316. Drop me a message and we can sort it out. But yeah, and as always, thank you to all patrons who make all this stuff possible. Without you, I'd be in a gutter somewhere, I'd guess. And that isn't high on my list of priorities. However, loads has happened this week in the world of wrestling. So I thought we'd just go through it all. I mean, we'll take WWE as we'll take Fastlane and Smackdown as like a big bubbling pot of joy, because they kind of all tie in. I mean, before we get into it, what did you think of the pay-per-view, man? Do you enjoy it? Do you not enjoy it? I actually thought, given not a lot happened really, I thought it was quite fun.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid, actually.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting lots from it, I must admit, but it was actually pretty decent, I thought.
I did. I mean, it's kind of like, it's a weird one because it kind of does get in the way a little bit of WrestleMania. It's kind of just there. And, you know, in many ways, it does make you go, this is pointless, because we know it's going to be AJ Styles and Nakamura at WrestleMania, or at least you would assume so.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to buy into it. But I actually thought everything they did, it was fun, it was enjoyable. Only a couple of dud matches that I didn't really enjoy. But other than that, yeah, I actually thought, I mean, again, it didn't serve much purpose, but I thought it was a fun little show. I thought, you know, something to do on a Sunday or a Monday whenever you watch it. You know, I thought they could have done a lot worse.
Yeah, you know, I agree. I thought it was decent. I thought the matches that were on there, I wasn't particularly looking forward to, I must admit. I mean, they were just kind of thrown together, but I thought it was decent.
Well, yeah, I mean, stuff like, you know, Becky Lynch and Naomi against Carmella and Natalia, I mean, it's pointless, you know, to begin with. And then it was...
It's okay, though.
It was all right, but I mean...
It was the worst thing. They botched a hell of a lot at the end, though.
Well, they did, yeah. But to me, the problem with that is I think we could have done more with that was my problem. I think we could have, you know, come up with some ideas beforehand, or... I don't know, as opposed to just set it up on the Tuesday before, just because... what do you call it? Basically, they were arguing over friends or something. I don't know. I just know it was ridiculous. Yeah. And then...
Pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, and then, I mean, stuff like that. And I thought the pre-show... Again, I think my problem with both of them, between that and the pre-show match, was just because they were thrown together. And I never really liked
thrown... pre-show? Sorry, what was the pre-show?
It was... hang on, I got to look it up. All I remember is that the Revival and Gallows and Anderson were in it with Ty Dillinger... And yes, it was Breezango with Ty Dillinger against Mojo Rawley. I was completely wrong. What am I talking about? It's a SmackDown show, not a Raw show. Yeah. But Breezango and Ty Dillinger going against Mojo Rawley, Chad Gable, and Shelton Benjamin. Now, everybody in that could be doing more on SmackDown, but they're not. Particularly Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
And again, my biggest problem with it was just thrown together. And I don't like it when things are thrown together, because I think we can do better than that. But, you know, like you said, it wasn't bad. It was fine. The only other thing, I don't have a problem with it. I kind of have more of an issue with it in hindsight. Is that the first match of the evening was Shinsuke Nakamura against Rusev. Obviously, you know, Nakamura beat Rusev, which is no surprise. I don't mind that. It was a fun, entertaining match. I love both wrestlers. But I don't understand what the plan is here, because it just seems to me like WWE do not care that Rusev is getting over, and they're like, oh, we'll just feed him to Nakamura, instead of actually taking a step back and going, man, we may be onto something here. Maybe we should come up with an idea or protect him or do something that's not just, you know, I don't know, whatever this was. I mean, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent match. Rusev looked good. The crowd was pretty split as well, I thought. The crowd were pretty behind Rusev.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, you knew he was going to lose. So,
well, that's my issue with it. And then if we tie that into SmackDown as well, obviously we had the, you know, Nakamura, AJ Styles taking on Rusev, and then English interrupts, and then Nakamura saves AJ. So we're so building to a tag match between Rusev Day and Nakamura and AJ Styles. But that is tying into the main event. Now, I highly doubt that Rusev and Aiden English are going to be added to that match or have anything to do with that match. So as each week goes by, it's just less time to do something for Rusev, which says to me he's just going in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. And if he goes in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, he's already lost, even if he wins. Because again, look at Mojo Rawley. Here we are a year on. What's Mojo Rawley doing? He's in the pre-show Fastlane. It's not like it's... and that will probably be on the pre-show itself. And I just don't understand why, they struck on something here with Rusev, again, for about the third or fourth time. And yet, coming up to the biggest show of the year, we're still not pushing that. And I really don't understand it.
No, neither do I. I mean, Rusev back when he first came up to the main roster was an absolute beast. And then he just became kind of a bit of a joke, really.
Oh, yeah, when he did all that stuff with Dolph Ziggler and Summer Rae and all that nonsense.
Yeah, and then he had all that stuff with Jinder just before Jinder got the title. And then they just didn't do anything with Rusev.
No.
So,
and that's,
pointless, wasn't it? It's like...
Yeah,
and I think Rusev's more talented than Jinder ever was.
I think Rusev is one of the most underrated wrestlers ever. Like, genuinely, one of the most underrated wrestlers ever. I cannot believe they don't do more with him. I really can't. Because no matter what situation you put him in, he finds a way to be entertaining, and that and I just it's not like he's ever he has had good matches, but it's not like he's had consistent 5-star matches or anything like that. He gets himself over with his personality and the things he says, and he's weird and he's funny on social media. So he's this unique, amazing character. And yet, they just, even when he was in the League of Nations, he was still funny. So you can give him anything and he'll make it work. And yet here, I don't get it.
Yeah, they just don't really know what to do with him, I don't think, do they?
No, I mean,
they've got so many other guys that they're trying to put into all the title programs that difficult to find a place to put him.
I mean, that is the thing.
I'd say at the moment.
Yeah, but totally. I mean, where the hell's Dolph Ziggler? I would take Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. I understand that's not the greatest match in the world. However, build it up right, give it a storyline. At least he'd be featured in something. Rusev can beat Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania. That's fine. So, I don't. It makes no sense to me. Where the hell is Dolph Ziggler? He wasn't on SmackDown, was he?
No, I don't think so.
The fact that neither of us know sums it up, I think.
Yeah, what's the point of Dolph Ziggler? I mean...
Well, that's a very good question. He probably asked
himself. Why was he even in the main event at Fastlane?
I don't know. That will never make any sense to anybody.
Maybe it's in his contract.
Yeah, exactly. As we are talking about Nakamura, I do like what they're doing with him. I do think they're building him up as a proper challenges to AJ Styles' title. I especially liked it on SmackDown, obviously, where he saved him in that tag match. And then they had a little falling out later where Nakamura just said, well, it actually looked like you need saving. It's almost like, AJ Styles is a little bit irked by it, a little bit worried, whereas Nakamura is cool, calm, collected. He knows what he's going to do. He's going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's classic WrestleMania main event build, really. So it was always the same with like Rock and Stone Cold. They'd help each other out beforehand, and then they'd finally clash. So it doesn't surprise me what they're doing with him. But again, we all know Nakamura's going to win. Do you think
so? I don't know. I don't know. I think because it's a face versus face match. I don't know. I'm somewhat torn between this one. I think it probably does make sense. But the fact that Roman Reigns will win gives me a slight. I don't know. Just a slight. I don't know. I don't know. We will see.
It's possible, but I just think if he won the Rumble, I don't think he's likely to lose.
Well, I hope you're right, but I don't know. I like the fact there's a debate to be had there. Sorry?
Yeah, I mean, there is a chance, and it's going to be a great match. Don't get me wrong, it will be a great match. But it would absolutely kill Nakamura if he lost that then.
That is very true. And I guess AJ Styles doesn't really have to...
No, and it looks like he quite possibly will go to Raw after WrestleMania anyway.
Well, that is true, and I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world. So.
No, I think that would be a good idea. So give it to Nakamura, move Styles on, bring in Seth Rollins maybe from Raw.
Yeah.
Then they can feud.
Not the worst idea in the world at all. You know what? In that sense, yeah, that would make a lot of sense. But I do like they're doing. Good build, good match. I'm definitely excited about it. After that, we got Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode. I didn't think this was so bad, but it was a bit boring, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Roode, he's boring. There's no getting away from it. He's pretty boring.
He is. He should be a heel. Everyone's going, oh, it's great he's a face. It's not. He's a better heel. Like, he's not a good face. I don't think so anyway. And I did like what they did on SmackDown. I don't give a shit that we're heading towards Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal at Raw. But what I like about Fastlane is, A, Randy Orton won. Didn't see that coming. B, Mahal didn't interfere till after the match, which is completely, anti-WWE booking, which I also liked. And then the way that Randy Orton tied in that stupid SmackDown list to say, I don't care about that list. The list I care about is the Grand Slam Championship list. And I'm on that list. I thought that's awesome. That actually ties in. And then we had Bobby Roode versus Jinder in a whatever match. I don't care about that. I don't think it's the worst. Well, yeah, I just don't like Jinder Mahal and Bobby Roode. I respect them as wrestlers, but just as a fan, they don't entertain me. And I don't think that's the worst. The only thing I don't like about having that triple threat match is that on WrestleMania we're also going to have the IC triple threat match, and I hate it when Raw and SmackDown kind of mirror each other.
It seems like that's what they're doing with everything at the moment.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I don't like when they do
Everything's
that.
the same.
Yeah,
it's really irritating.
It is. I just don't think it's. I don't think it's productive. I think it's counterproductive in the sense when you're trying to build brands. It's just like, well, I could just pick one and do that. However, I mean, I'm sure they'll have a good match. The good thing about having a triple threat match is that you can hide a lot of the people's weaknesses, and it will probably be more exciting if as opposed to it just being Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. Although we saw Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton so much last year, I cannot believe we got to WrestleMania. We're about to see it again. That is preposterous. That is absolutely preposterous.
And nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see that.
No, but I do think they'll have a good match. Like, I really do. I really do. I think that because there's three of them in there, I think they can negate for sort of ignore the weaknesses.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be decent. I mean, Randy Orton doesn't excite me in any way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand how he's so successful.
His finishing move. I tell you, man, it's his finish.
Yeah, I prefer the diamond cutter. To be honest,
I like them both. I wouldn't say I have a preference.
I absolutely hate this whole RKO out of nowhere thing. I hate it.
Really? Why? I
like it. I love the move. It's great. It's great when he does it, but it's the commentary all the time. RKO out of nowhere.
Oh yeah. I mean, WWE's branding is too aggressive to say the least.
They just oversell it so much.
Oh yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, they really do. Then we moved on.
I mean, they overhype it so much that you're expecting it now. Almost.
That is true. Although I did like it when he hit the RKO on Jinder. I think it was on SmackDown. He was so happy with himself. That did make me laugh. I did think, man, that is so ridiculous that it's good. So yeah, I can't hate that. But you are right. But that's WWE to death, isn't it? They just ram stuff into the ground until there's nothing left. Then it was Natalya, Carmella, Becky Lynch, Naomi match. We've done that. I actually really liked what they did with the Usos and the New Day, but I'll let you comment on it first in case you've got a different opinion.
No, I liked it as well. I thought it was great because we didn't really need to see Usos versus New Day again.
No,
Even
exactly.
though what they did do was good with the stealing each other's moveset. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a good. Well, they've got great chemistry.
They are great. The Usos have got really good in the last year.
Oh man, yeah, they're phenomenal at the moment, no question about it. But I just enjoyed the finish. You got the Bludgeon Brothers over. That then tied into SmackDown when you had Jimmy Uso and Big E trying to beat them and they failed again. So right now you look at it and you go, yeah, they are, they're untouchable right now. They are the deserved number one contenders, and I think that's just it's really smart, good booking.
Yeah, and they look pretty awesome as well, I must admit.
I think they're great. I mean, the gimmick was a bit silly, but I don't mind silly, especially when you can back it up by kicking people's ass. Obviously, what they did to Xavier Woods on Fastlane was ridiculous. almost murdered him. It was really good. Then doing that again on SmackDown, I thought it worked really well. And again, if this now leads into the Bludgeon Brothers winning at WrestleMania, that's a great story you can carry on for ages. Who the hell is going to beat these people?
Yeah, I thought the stuff at Fastlane was good as well because I wasn't really expecting it either.
But this is the thing I liked about Fastlane. Between Orton winning and this, I was like, oh wow, this actually feels different. We're actually coming up with different ideas as opposed to the usual humdrum that I come to expect from WWE.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. What was I going to say? It's just nice to get the Bludgeon Brothers actually involved in something meaningful as well.
Yeah,
instead of just squashing people all the time.
Yeah, I agree. They've been teasing that for a while of them just kind of hanging around. So it was it was nice to start just sort of get the build right time. They've built it up well enough. And hey, I tell you what, I'm all for them winning the championships at Mania. I think that would be especially if they destroy everyone as well. I'm okay with that. And then maybe the Usos and New Day have to come together. Maybe have some 4-on-2 matches or something. I'm all right with that. I'm all right with doing something a little bit different. And I find it incredible that the WWE, on the SmackDown side, the tag team thing is great. And on the Raw side, it's an absolute joke. I don't understand how they can get it so wrong.
Yeah, I know. It's... Because, I mean, it does look like we're going to get Braun Strowman against the Bar probably at WrestleMania.
Yeah, which is...
I mean, there's got to be a partner, surely.
I mean, I hope so, but who do you get?
Otherwise, that... Well, I mean, the rumour's Elias, isn't it? But...
Doesn't make any sense. What?
No.
Why would it be... I haven't heard that. Why would it be Elias? For what reason? Oh, thanks for killing me with a piano. Can I be your tag team? Oh, man, if that happens, I'm going to go off on one. I don't go off on one, but that'd be such lame booking if they do that. Oh, I hope
see it.
I can because it's WWE, but I hope they don't do that. But you know what? Maybe I would like it. It'd be so ridiculous.
I don't think it'd be that bad, to be fair. I like Elias.
Well, I like Elias, but it just doesn't make any sense.
No, but who else do you pick? Kane?
You know what? I'd rather that.
Kane and Braun Strowman.
I think I'd rather that. I think I'd rather it. But hey, this was good here. I like what they did. And then we had Charlotte Flair versus Ruby Riott. I thought it was decent enough. I think a lot of people liked it more than me, but I thought it was an okay match. All the stuff with Asuka afterwards. That's good. That's probably the right thing to do, especially if the plan is to actually, build to Ronda Rousey versus Asuka at WrestleMania 35. I'm all right with that. I think that would be interesting. So,
yeah, no, I thought Ruby Riott did pretty well to hang in there with Charlotte. To be honest,
yeah, I think she's good. Ruby Riott.
It gave him a lot of time as well. It was quite a long match. I thought
it was 13 minutes and 45 seconds, which is a long time for a women's match. And
she did well, I thought.
No, I think they both did well, and I just the only thing I would like them to do more of when it comes to the women's title on SmackDown is actually remind us that the women's title is a thing. They seem to have forgotten that until again the last week before Fastlane. Oh yeah, the title's on the line, but hey, it was a good match. Ruby Riott's probably better than she's been in the position she's put in herself for. This was fine. I thought this was fine.
I just wish when it comes to the women's stuff, they just wouldn't botch so much.
Well, I mean,
that's the problem. They almost get a bit too overexcited, and it all goes a bit out of the window sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that the women's roster in WWE isn't as strong as some other women's rosters across the world. So now that we're focusing more on it, I think some of that is going to be picked up on. I think that's a fair thing to say.
I mean, Charlotte missed a moonsault off the barrier by miles.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just the. I think that's just the case is that again the women's roster as a whole isn't as strong as something like Shimmer's or something like that. And again, if you're going to give them more time, eventually you're going to kind of. But hopefully that helps the other way as well. Hopefully it means everyone gets better as we go forward.
But yeah, I mean, Asuka going to SmackDown is a good move. I think. I mean, the problem is, where does it leave Carmella?
I mean, I
can see her. The way I see it is, Asuka comes to SmackDown, wins the title. Carmella's obviously not going to cash in there, so I see her going to Raw and cashing in there.
I have a small feeling she may try and cash it in at WrestleMania and lose
against Asuka.
Yeah, well, I think so. She makes it a triple threat. Sorry, against Nia Jackson and Alexa Bliss.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I think they do that at WrestleMania. Carmella loses, and then she can go on Raw and start mucking around there as well. It's not like she's doing much on SmackDown. I can see that happening, and I think that would give it, it would give it a bit of weight because it would just. I actually quite like the Nia Jax Oscar, Nia Jax. What's her name? Alexa Bliss stuff. But doing that at WrestleMania is going to just give it a little bit of an extra something. So,
only problem is with Carmella, she won the first Money in the Bank, technically twice. I know the first time she didn't actually get the briefcase. She got the win again on Fastlane. She does get quite a few big results.
Who's that? Sorry.
To be fair, Carmella.
Well, she does. I think that's because they. I don't know. It depends. Whatever their. Whatever. It's almost like I don't know. I don't know how they see the Money in the Bank anymore. It's certainly been forgotten. But yeah, but she does, or she just vanishes from television.
Plus, she's the first winner. Be a bit harsh to make her lose.
I think that's why they'll do it. I think that's why they think it's a really good idea, because it's the opposite of what they did with the men, and I think that's WWE through and through. But hey, then we moved on to the main event, which was of course AJ Styles going against Kevin Owens, John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn. I mean, it was always going to be just a nuts good match, and that's what it was. It was just a nuts good match.
Yeah, no, it was really good.
It was just fast paced. Everyone did their stuff. Yeah. I thought it was a bit weird. I think everyone has said this when John Cena just started throwing out AAs as if it was in a James Bond movie, which he really did. Everyone ran it in one by one. It's like, why?
Yeah, they all just lined up for it. And then AJ Styles just said, "No, I'm not going to run at you."
No, exactly. I'm going to do something else. But it was good. And we went outside and we had some stuff through a table and, you know, all this fun stuff. So I thought that was it was just a fun match. You know, I liked all the Shane McMahon stuff in the sense if that's where they're going, you may as well go with it. There's no point mucking around, and you know that you've chosen your story, so let's go with that story. So that was good, and yeah, all in all, I just thought it was a really fun, solid main event, sort of B pay-per-view show. Finish, and AJ Styles winning is what I wanted. There was no shenanigans. Yeah, no. I got nothing really to criticize or say about it, to be honest. And I liked how it all tied into SmackDown. The end of SmackDown when Shane McMahon got his ass whooped by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I mean, I said ages ago it was going to be a triple threat match, and I think Daniel Bryan would be the special guest referee because I just thought that's the only thing they can do.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that attack this morning. That power bomb at the end onto that thing in the back looked brutal.
Oh man, I mean, it was on that grate. It was, yeah. I mean, it did look awful. It looked really bad.
Good. But I don't know why they're doing a triple threat though. If that's what they're going to do, because. Like, what's the point of Shane McMahon being there?
Just because he's got to be on WrestleMania, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole thing was supposed to be him against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and now they've split up or potentially splitting up, and now he's feuding with both of them. That's a weird one for me.
I guess from Shane McMahon's point of view, he just wants to beat them both up for what they've done. And now there's animosity between the two of them after everything happened at Fastlane, because obviously Sami Zayn, he pretended that he was going to let Kevin Owens roll him up, and then he didn't. Yeah, I would guess that's just how they're all tying it in.
Yeah, either that or Daniel Bryan's going to, I don't know, turn heel on someone.
I mean, they could do that. I just don't know how much action they're going to let him do. That's why I think he comes back next week to kind of sort this situation out. Obviously, Shane McMahon's now not made himself commissioner anymore. I don't know where they're going with that. I don't know if he's going to head up over to Raw or something. It's very strange. But I don't believe that Daniel Bryan's going to be in a match. And I think the only way you can actually make it work is by doing... Yeah, is literally by having a triple threat, put Daniel Bryan in the main event, in that match show with them, so everybody ties in. And then, you can just move forward to whatever's next.
Yeah, it'd be a good match.
I think it'd be a good match. I mean, Shane McMahon obviously is not the best, but if Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are in there, I think you are protected to a certain degree. But
anytime Shane gets in the ring, it's usually entertaining.
Sorry?
So anytime Shane gets in the ring, it's usually entertaining.
Well, yeah, exactly. He does something stupid and something ridiculous, which I think is all right. I think it'll be okay, and I think that given after SmackDown, like I say, we've got the main event of Styles versus Nakamura, got the triple threat for the US title. I'm guessing we're going to have the Usos versus New Day versus Bludgeon Brothers, Charlotte versus Asuka. Obviously, that triple threat match. I think these are good WrestleMania matches. I think, or at least on paper, I'm intrigued to see where they're going to go.
Yeah, no, it's lining up well, I would say.
I think so. And I mean, switching over to Raw as well. Raw, the biggest thing I liked about Raw was when Roman Reigns stormed to the back and you saw Vince McMahon sitting at the gorilla position. I thought that was excellent because, if nothing else, from a visual perspective, it's just something that we never see. You know, we never see that shot. When we see it in documentaries and stuff, that's different. It's different context. So I just really enjoyed that, and it kind of put me on this... I can't think of the right word, but this path I'm going to do a video for What Culture on, Where it's like they should just do more. They should do that stuff more often. And people say, well, you can't do it too much. It will lose its allure and lose its magic. Well, they ran everything else into the ground, so why can't we run this in the ground? You can get at least a year out of doing different and cool stuff like that. I don't think they are going to do anything like it, but it made it fun. And also, it was such an organic story. Roman Reigns storms to the back, talks to Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon leaves his position. They go have a meeting, suspends him, and they leave. It didn't feel scripted at all. Obviously, it was. But it felt really natural, and that's what I think is lacking. So I actually think if we can do more of this, I don't care. You can get a good year out of it. I'll take a year of Raw feeling different.
Yeah. No, I thought it was good. What I would love to see, it's not going to happen, but I would love to see Reigns win the title and turn heel, and it be that he's sort of lined up with Vince McMahon the whole time. That would be good.
That would be cool. I just don't think Vince McMahon wants to be on television that much. Well, that's what everyone seems to say.
No,
anyway.
it's a shame, because he's still
the best.
Still good when he's there.
I mean, Vince McMahon is still the best, probably the best pro wrestling character ever, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see, similar to what they did with The Rock, where he joined the corporation. That would be a great thing for Reigns to do.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I think it would be. It would certainly do something different. I mean, my worry is we're so far past that fact now. I think they're just going to hammer down and keep going forward with Reigns as he is. But I did like it. I thought it was a good start to Raw. Yeah, I don't know, they're trying to get Brock Lesnar booze. I don't think it's going to work. I think everyone just hates Roman Reigns so much. However, I did like I like this opening segment. I thought it felt strong. And again, it took the usual start to Raw and made it feel different. And I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I think a lot of people liked it, to be honest.
Well, they should have done as well. And obviously, we're going to get Brock Lesnar on Raw next week. I presume that Roman Reigns won't be on next week simply because he's been suspended now, but maybe he'll do a run-in or something. I don't know. But no, I thought.
Yeah, I think they did say.
Sorry, man.
I think they did say he's not going to be there.
Yeah, exactly. Which is good. I mean, it's building. It's building something interesting, and I think maybe it's far more interesting than a lot of people thought. This Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar thing was going to be. And I do think they'll deliver in the ring. I mean, they delivered last time at WrestleMania 31, even before Seth Rollins got involved. So I don't see why it wouldn't be the same this time around. Yeah,
no, I think it'd be a good match. I watched that WrestleMania 31 match a couple of days ago, and it actually was really good. I just hope they get a decent length match out of Lesnar, and not just like a 10-minute clean win for Reigns. That would be a bit disappointing.
Yeah, I guess it depends what his MMA plans are and all of that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll let himself down too badly. And if nothing else, I'm excited. I am more.
No, because when he wants to go. Yeah, when he wants to do the match, yeah. I mean, the match against AJ Styles was fantastic.
Exactly, and I think especially if he is sort of. I don't know. It depends, really. I don't know how Brock sees things, but if he genuinely is going back to MMA, I can kind of see him not giving a shit. But at the same time, if this could be his last ever WWE match, I think he's got enough pride in himself that he'd want to go out on a high, and this is the way to do it. And I think there's no way.
Yeah, he must know that. He must have known that the plan all along was for him to drop the belt to Reigns anyway.
Oh, surely. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt.
That's what it's all been building towards. Same as when, he lost to Goldberg. He knew he was going to get it back at Mania.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it all depends on whether he's trying to protect his body in the sense that, he's going back to MMA. Like that whole Dean Ambrose fiasco when, he just clearly had other things on his mind, so he just didn't want to get involved.
No.
But look, it's good.
Yeah,
I think they're building it well. I'm excited to see where it's going to go. And that's all you can do at this stage. We've still got a few weeks till Mania, and I'm interested. We then had all the stuff with Sasha Banks defeating Sonya Deville. And obviously that doesn't even matter. The big takeaway here is that, when the Paige's group, Absolution, forgot their name, attacked Sasha Banks, Bayley just left her there to get her ass kicked, which says to me we are going to get Sasha Banks and Bayley at WrestleMania, and Bayley's going to be the heel, which I find very bizarre, to be honest.
Yeah, it is a bit bizarre, but then I kind of like that, to be honest.
My only problem is Sasha Banks is a really good heel, And so far on the main roster, we haven't seen Sasha Banks as a heel. I know everyone says, "Oh yes," but when they fought in NXT, it was the other way around. So it's good we're switching it up. But on a bigger stage, I think sometimes it's just good to go with what you know works. I would just prefer to see Sasha Banks as the heel, but we don't know what's going to happen. They can still do a double turn. I think the main takeaway is that at least finally they're doing this match, which they've been teasing now for about I don't even know how long, year and a half maybe.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I mean, my only problem is it would mean more if it was over the title for me. It doesn't really mean a lot, that match. I
agree, but I like that. What do you call it?
It's good to see it.
Yeah, I just like yeah, but I just like the fact that they. It's not just. My point is, usually at WrestleMania they have sort of one women's segment, like they do on Raw and Smackdown. It's just this is the time for the women, and I hate that. I never think it works. I think it actually takes away from what it makes it to. It underlines the fact these are women. It's women's time. Well, I'd rather just have good feuds and storylines that just so happen to include women. And I think the fact that we are going to have potentially 3, maybe even 4, if you take in the Battle Royal, which we'll talk about in a second. I just think that negates all of that, and that is what I like. I also think you can add the title into this feud at some point, should you want.
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably will, because obviously they're not going to have Asuka on Raw by the looks of it, so it kind of opens the door for a lot of other women to get involved in that.
Yeah, so I think you start there. You know, you make Bayley or Banks your heel, depending which direction you go in, and then there's plenty more. There's plenty more you can do. Then we've got Kid Rock being announced that he's going into the Hall of Fame. I don't care, because while I like watching the Hall of Fame, I just don't care. I don't give a shit who you put in the Hall of Fame. I really don't. Put whoever you want in.
There's some interesting theories about Kid Rock.
How do you mean?
I was reading it this morning. A couple of people, I think it was in the Facebook group, a couple of people think that might mean that we're going to get Biker Taker.
Oh, right, yeah, I've heard about this. If we get Biker Taker, that will ruin that match. I hate Biker Taker. I hate him. It's a shit gimmick.
And they think that because he obviously took his hat and gloves off and everything at the end of the last one, that he's going to come back as Biker Taker.
Oh, man, I mean...
Kid Rock's going to play him in.
I hate that idea. I never liked Biker Taker, and I get it. A lot of people like Biker Taker because that's the Taker they were brought up on, right? Which I can completely understand. But as a man that was brought up on Scary Spooky Undertaker, for him to come out to Kid Rock riding a bicycle is not. It's not. I just hated it, and I hated his promos, and I hated his presentation. I just hate it all. I thought it was rubbish.
I thought it was when he first debuted that look, when he came back at Judgment Day, in the Iron Man match with The Rock and Triple H. I thought it was amazing. Yeah. But then I kind of just thought he was just turning up without his dead man gimmick clothes. I thought he was still going to do that gimmick. I just thought he just turned up in casual stuff. And it looked really cool then. But yeah, it got bad as it went on. Definitely.
It was just... I just found it boring. And it just didn't do anything for me. So... I mean, I just in a match like John Cena versus The Undertaker, yes, storyline wise, it protects everything that happened last year. But in terms of what I have to sit through, I just don't want to. If you bring out Biker Taker, my interest in that match instantly falls through the floor. Instantly, I just don't like Biker Taker. I hate him. I think he's awful, and I hate his promos. I
don't think people are going to see. But then there's also because obviously, the Tombstone is technically banned. And there's been a lot of talk about that recently, about him not being able to do that anymore. So you could kind of make a case for Biker Taker.
I can't believe. I don't think they'd ever stop Undertaker doing the Tombstone. I think they trust it
before.
Well, yeah, but he was still allowed to do it. I can't see that. I think if Taker said he wanted to do it, they'd trust him to do it, especially on someone like John Cena who's taken it before. That one I can't see, but who knows? I mean, who knows? I don't know for sure. So he's going in, and then we had all the stuff with the Miz, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. Why is this stuff so boring each and every week? They drag it out. Every segment goes on for like 22 hours. I don't understand why I like everyone in it, but these sections just feel overbooked to me. They feel really dull.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got to fill a 3-hour show, haven't they?
Well, that's true. And then we got Yeah, so basically all that happened is they had a big argument, and the Miz managed to kind of convince Balor and Seth Rollins to have a match. So it's like, all right,
which we've seen 5 million times.
yeah, and then they beat up the Miz for a while. I think the match will be good, and I think I'll enjoy it. But the build to this feels very strange, a little bit just sort of slapdash put together at the last minute. Not really thought, which it was, because obviously at one point it was going to be Braun Strowman versus The Miz for the IC title, or at least that's what people insinuated.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think The Miz will win that match as well.
Do you really? I think Finn Balor's going to win, and then I think that Seth Rollins is going to go to SmackDown. And then The Miz is just The Miz. You can do whatever you want with him. I think maybe The Miz does well. I mean, he's got that TV show they're making at the moment, so maybe they want to, maybe they want to make that, put the spotlight on him. I don't know.
Well, I think if he wins, he's got a chance of being the longest reigning IC champ, I think, as well.
That's like cumulative days, right?
So, yeah. So there's a chance they could keep it on him, I think.
Maybe. I don't think it really matters, this match. I mean, I think it'll be good. I think it's 3 talented performers that at least have a spot on the card. But yeah, ultimately, it's not really overly exciting me. And neither is the tag team stuff, which we got after this. I mean, it was meant to be the Miz Taraj versus The Bar. But instead, a load of teams just came out and beat them up. I was like, what is going on? We had the Revival, Gallows and Anderson. I think Heath Slater and Rhino were there. Apollo Crews and not Apollo Crews anymore. Apollo and Titus O'Neil, and it was just. I think this would have made more sense if we were going to do some kind of multi-team tag match at WrestleMania, which maybe would have been quite interesting. But instead,
a ladder match or something.
Well, yeah, which would have been different. But instead, it was just we literally set up a few teams. So that, and I don't mind this to a certain extent because I love Braun Strowman, but we did set up a few teams so that Braun Strowman could come out and just whip everybody's ass. And I don't see what
makes them all look really weak.
Exactly, and that's my only problem is I don't think we needed to do that and eliminate sort of the Revival and Gallows and Anderson, who are really good at what they do, and that's the only thing that confused me. But again, the Raw tag team division has kind of fallen off a cliff recently. So
yeah, it's hard because the Bar are really good, and I do really enjoy them, but they just have no one to go against. Nobody credible, anyway.
No, that's the problem. That was even part of the storyline. It's like we don't have any teams, and I thought that was a ridiculous thing for them to say because there are teams. They've just been booked so badly that we've got to where we got to. So yeah, I wasn't massively a fan of this. Like I say, later on, I think it was the last segment of the night. We basically had a big battle royal, and yeah, Braun Strowman eliminated everybody. I mean, literally eliminated everybody, and he was left standing. So now at WrestleMania, it's Braun Strowman and maybe a partner going against The Bar. And I have a feeling that Braun is not going to have an opponent, and he's going to win. And again, on one level, that's fun, but on another level, it's ridiculous and probably not the best thing to do to your tag team titles.
No. And the other thing is that, like, they've got so many good tag teams in NXT as well that they could probably just bring up one of them.
I could have Authors of Pain. I think Authors of Pain.
Authors of Pain are brilliant, and they could definitely be on the main roster now.
Yeah. I genuinely, I think that would have been better. But who knows? We'll see what happens over the next few weeks. I mean, it's an interesting idea. Whether or not this is a good one is the next thing. Then we got into all the Cena versus Taker stuff that we kind of already touched upon. Apparently, Cena called out the Undertaker a few weeks ago, decided that he couldn't do it, and then decided, oh no, I can do it. Which was like, oh, okay. He said that the Undertaker has to get over his ego, says that the Undertaker's pulling all the strings, working out on Instagram, all this stuff. It's a really good promo. Fans love this idea. It's just very well done by someone that's a very good talker. Again, I hope it's the old school Taker and not Biker Taker. But Cena versus Undertaker on paper is a great match. It'll probably be one of the matches people are more excited about, to be honest, just because they don't know for sure. But yeah, I thought that this was a simple but a really well done spot.
Yeah, no, the promo was really good, I thought. They're not giving it a massive amount of time to build, really.
Well, we got 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's only about 3 weeks, around April 1st, isn't it?
So
WrestleMania.
I think that's it's April the 8th, I think, this year. Let me double check.
They seem to bring Taker back later and later every year. It seems like.
I can understand. Like I said,
maybe last year.
We've got 3 weeks on Sunday, 1, 2, 3 weeks on Sunday. I think that's more. I think that's fine. I mean, 3 Raws. They'd overdo it otherwise. They're very, don't really love to overbook stuff. So I actually think less is more in this situation.
Maybe now, but like back in the day, I mean, they used to build Undertaker matches up at WrestleMania for months.
Well, I just don't think they have the same allure as they used to do, simply because of he's lost because I think that second loss really. It goes to show this match wasn't long-term thought out at all, because Cena loses all the time on Raw. Undertaker now at WrestleMania, like, yeah, whatever. I'm not really bothered. So, yeah, I really do think they didn't think this out at all, which is a shame, really, because they could have done better. But it was fine. It was. I think, again, there's both such big stars, you can get away with other things here that necessarily you wouldn't be able to with other people. And that's essentially what they've done.
Yeah, it'd be a good match, I expect.
Well, I don't know about...
You have to think Taker will be in better shape.
Yeah, and to me, Taker has to win as well. If Taker doesn't win, I just think that completely destroys that legacy. Whereas Cena right now seems to be able to lose regardless, and nobody cares. No,
I don't. No, nobody really cares about Cena these days, do they?
Well, I just think I can't. He just is. Cena just is now. Before he did have this kind of magic to him where he never lost, but he lost. He loses all the time. I saw Elias pin him a few weeks ago. So now it's like, whatever. But again, I think as long as they build it up right and make me really buy into the match, I think it'll be good. It's probably the best thing to do for either of them at WrestleMania 34. And I am excited to see what's going to happen. I am. I do want to see what's going to go down.
That'll be a huge match.
I think it'd be one of the more anticipated ones. I really do. I think more people would be excited this than anything else. Then we had Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. Finn Balor won, whatever. It was a good match, but we kind of see it. And then obviously they announced that is no longer the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royale, which was meant to be the Under the Giant equivalent for the women. I'm not going to go into all the specifics here, but if you don't know, Moolah has a somewhat controversial past. You can Google it and read about it. I'm not going to talk about it here because I don't feel like it's my place to do so. Anyway, point being is that social media went nuts because, again, she's arguably not a nice person and not really somebody you should be associating a Battle Royal with, and it's now just called the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royale. I think this is probably more to do with the fact that Snickers got in contact with them and said, yeah, we're not happy about this, as opposed to social media going nuts. However, it was that for about 3 days, and then it got changed.
Yeah, probably for the best.
I think when there's that much backlash, you're probably worth just putting your hands in the air and going, yeah, we screwed up. Let's come up with a different plan.
Why didn't they just call it the Mae Young Memorial Battle?
Because they got the Mae Young one in NXT.
Mae Young Classic. Yeah, I guess.
I think that's what it was.
Could have called it the China Battle.
I imagine that, right? I think that's where they really screwed themselves up, is the sense that had that big speech about how China can't go in the Hall of Fame, then they did this. It's not the best look. But hey, they've changed it, so all good.
And I won't be looking forward to that match in any way.
It's just to get women on the card, isn't it? Really, I mean, I don't really much
because there's a men's one.
Well, yeah, I don't really much enjoy the men's one either, to be honest.
No,
it just doesn't mean anything to me.
Absolutely
so
pointless.
Yeah, I imagine this will take up the majority of the pre-show, and then that's that really. I mean, I just don't care. I mean, it's good. Yeah, get everyone in the show. That's lovely. But otherwise, I'm not too fussed. What I am fussed about, though, is I really enjoy... Obviously, Asuka came out after this to talk about her plans and everything she's doing. And that ties into all the Nia Jax Asuka stuff, which they're clearly building up now at WrestleMania. And I really, really like everything they're doing with Nia Jax. It's an interesting take on a quote-unquote monster character. She's very good at playing the role. Alexa Bliss comes across like a right bitch. It's kind of like a body-shaming angle, but I think it's done well. And the fact that I believe Nia Jax will whip her ass at WrestleMania, I think this is all really good. I quite like it.
Yeah, no, so do I. I mean, I think Alexa Bliss as a champion has been great. And her against Asuka wouldn't have been a very good match, I don't think. So this is definitely the right way to go, I would say.
I think so. And I just think, like I say, usually Wrestling Booking 101 is you don't book your monster to have emotions and stuff, other than anger. But I like it. I really, really do. I think that... I like the idea that
she's doing really well.
Yeah, she's performing well, and she's just coming across like just like a sympathetic babyface. That's what babyface is all about. So
yeah, and plus it'd be nice to see Alexa Bliss get her ass kicked.
exactly, that's what you want to see. They built it up exactly like they should have done. So
let's face it, she's got away with a lot over the last 12 months or so. I mean, apart from losing to Charlotte, which, that was kind of a throwaway match, but otherwise she escapes with that title every single time.
Yeah. And she's held it now for ages, so when she does lose it, it should be made a big deal. So I like this, and then
she's had it for about a year, hasn't she?
Probably about that. Yeah, it's been a long time. I can't even remember now. But this all tied into a match with Asuka defeating Mickie James, made her tap out. And yeah, I mean, the Nia Jax defeated some jobber, and that's when we tied into her catching Alexa Bliss and Mickie James saying horrible things about her. And yeah, all of it was just a really, really solid, strong angle. I'm a big fan of it, as long as they don't pull a Triple H Booker T and Nia Jax wins. Even if Carmella does get involved in that match, I don't. As long as let Nia Jax take them both out, that's fine. I got no problems with that. And we also found out that next week we're getting the Ultimate Deletion, which I'm very excited about. But I mean, who knows what they're going to do with it? I don't really know. At least it's not happening at WrestleMania. At one point, I thought it was going to happen at WrestleMania. I thought it'd been a really bad idea. I don't think you get the same kind of reaction. No. In a big venue with 70,000 people, whatever, watching a screen. I don't think that would work as well as you want it to. But hey, look, this could be the thing that gets broken Matt Hardy started. We'll have to wait and see. I like the fact they're giving it a go. It's probably a bit overdue. They probably should have done this earlier. My problem with the whole character is I just don't think that WWE has focused on telling the story enough. He just one day literally woke up and went, oh, I'm crazy now. I think they really could have...
They didn't spend enough time breaking him.
No, exactly. Or telling what the story is. He just comes out and he's crazy now. Whereas I think, they're doing what they've done.
It's like Jeff got injured and that was it. Now he's broken Matt Hardy.
Yeah, exactly. So, I just think we could have done more with it. But, if you tell the story here, that would be fine. But we'll have to wait and see. I think I'm glad they're doing it. I think it will be funny, and I'm hoping it's going to be just as nuts as the other ones. Were, and that could be the catalyst that sparks everything off. Or so I hope. That would be my dream. But we'll have to wait and see.
I can't help thinking it's just going to be like the House of Horrors match.
I don't know. To me, Randy Orton was never a good fit for that. Bray Wyatt, as we know, is garbage these days. But Matt Hardy, I have a lot of faith in. That's where I put my faith. And that was it, really. That was everything that's gone down in WWE this week. I think the Battle Royale thing was the kind of big controversy, which did get changed, and a lot of people are talking about that, although really there's not a lot else to say about it. And it kind of, the kind of card that we have at this point for WrestleMania, or one would presume, is Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, Cena versus Undertaker. Obviously, Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. We didn't build at all this week. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Probably a triple threat match between Owens, McMahon, and Zayn. The Bar versus Braun Strowman. The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. The Usos versus the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. Charlotte versus Asuka. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal. Obviously, we'll probably get Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali in the Cruiserweight title final match. And then both Battle Royals. Which, I mean, that is a lot of... How many matches is that? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 matches.
14 matches.
So you can expect this to go at least 4 hours. If not a damn sight longer.
It's going to be 5 hours minimum, isn't it?
Oh, no, it's too long. I can't stand how long
it is. Think about it. Wrestle Kingdom 12 was about 5 hours.
And that was too long as well. I know.
And that was awesome. Yeah, it was too long. I spent nearly a day watching.
Well, that's the thing. To me, 3 hours is the sweet spot, and if you can't figure out a way to make it work in that, then go back to the drawing board. But that is a very good on paper. It sounds interesting. So
that sounds good.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't mention.
Yes.
The Ronda Rousey Kurt Angle match.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to see Kurt Angle in that.
Well, I mean, I know what you mean. It doesn't massively excite me, but he's working with Triple H, and I still think Triple H is a master of hiding people's weaknesses. As long as they don't do sort of a long drawn-out match. It doesn't excite me on paper. I'm interested to see what Ronda Rousey's going to do, but I've got no interest in seeing Stephanie McMahon in a wrestling match. Yeah, Kurt Angle, I'm kind of over by this point. Everything they did last year kind of ruined that a little bit. And
he's just broken. That's the problem.
Well, yeah,
he's just broken.
That's it. So it's
It's a broken man.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't be in a wrestling.
Well, no, exactly. So
What is that?
It will do.
He can't even stand straight.
No, he can't.
His leg completely broken.
It will do well in sense of sort of mainstream publicity, which is all they care about. It's why they're doing it to begin with. But yeah, I think Triple H and Kurt Angle will work most of the match. Stephanie McMahon, Ronda Rousey will finish the match. I think it'll be a spectacle for WrestleMania, which I always think is good. But ultimately, yeah, I'm not exactly pumped about watching it. But hey, it's good for WrestleMania. It's good for WrestleMania.
It's worrying. It's worrying that Kurt Angle is going to have to work most of that match as well.
I think Triple H will steer him through it. I really do.
I
think Triple H is that good, and I think Kurt Angle, if he isn't feeling too broken down, can still go. But yeah, have everything on the show. It's not really something. It's just you could get rid of that match, and I wouldn't be either less or more excited about WrestleMania. It's just there. I get it. It's a celebrity match. And that's what I want to see. What's the way? I think Rusev is a lock for the Battle Royal, which sucks. That will upset me. But otherwise, I think WrestleMania is looking pretty damn decent. I'm excited to seeing it, and yeah, given the fact we're 3 weeks away, it's ridiculous to be honest.
Yeah. It's coming up quick.
Yeah, obviously we've got the New Japan America show in a week and a half or something like that. That should be cool. Ring of Honors, or not even Ring of Honors, the independent All-In show is all coming together. People getting very excited about that. CM Punk returning to the Octagon in June in Chicago, it looks like. There is loads of little tidbits going on that you can go out there and find. But ultimately, it's WrestleMania season, and when WrestleMania season rolls around, everybody talks about WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff Hardy did also get pulled over for a DUI, but again...
They've not really said what that was for. Somebody said that was because he was driving while he was on his phone.
Oh no, he was drunk. He was because they released the breathalyzer stuff.
Okay.
And he was like 3 times over the limit. But when it comes to stuff like that, my concern is always for the human being and not the pro wrestler. I hope that he's okay. I hope it's nothing too serious, and I just hope he's in a good place in his life.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well for him. In WWE, though, I wouldn't say.
Well, I'm hoping that they understand that he needs help. So,
yeah, but then I saw a picture of him the other day that he released, and he looked pretty healthy. So...
Yeah. Well, look, it may just have been a silly incident. We all make mistakes, but yeah, I'm always when those things happen, I'm always more like, well, I hope he's okay, because obviously 9 times out of 10 that can be a cry for help or some kind of struggle. But we'll see. I think him having a place in wrestling is irrelevant when it comes to health.
I hope they don't just release him straight away as well.
I don't think they'll do that. I think he's too popular with the people there, or they like him at least. So I think he'll get away with it. Not get away with it, but I think they'll do what they can to help him, or at least I hope so. But we'll have to.
I hope so.
We'll have to wait and see. Is there anything else in the world of wrestling you want to talk about, Tom? Or have we exhausted everything?
I think we've pretty much covered everything, to be honest.
I think so too. And again, it's all about Raw and Smackdown, which I do think we're all right. And we'll just have to go see. We've got 3 weeks to go until the big Mania 34. Obviously, once Mania 34 is done, we'll get your man Jim Sterling back on to see how he's finding all this wrestling craziness and to see what's going on with Stardust. And just Google that if you want to know what that's all about. But yeah, I think it's an exciting time. I enjoyed Raw and Smackdown this week. I enjoyed Fastlane as well. So I think that's. I think that I scored a clean sweep with my Fastlane predictions. Let me look it up. Maybe I got... Oh, well, no, not technically, because I didn't call the Bludgeon Brothers doing a DQ. But other than that, I think I was pretty much spot on. So, actually, that's not true at all. I didn't say Randy Orton was going to beat Bobby Roode either. But apart from those two, I smashed it. Anyway, Tom...
Apart from those two, it was a clean sweep.
Exactly. Apart from those two, I did well good. Is there anything else you want to throw out there before we bring this to a close?
Can I plug a podcast that I've been listening to?
Yes.
Yeah? Well, I've been checking out... There's a Tony Schiavone from WCW. Does a really good podcast.
Is that What Happened When?
Yeah, What Happened When.
That is a good podcast.
Really like that. I've been listening to a lot of that. It's a really good take on WCW.
Do you listen to Something to Wrestle With as well?
No, I haven't started that because I've been listening to the What Happened When ones because apparently it's going to stop next week.
What happened when?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Apparently.
Why?
Apparently it was only ever to fund his daughter's wedding. Apparently.
What? So he's done that now and he doesn't want to do it anymore?
Well, apparently he was thinking of carrying it on, and then apparently somebody attacked him on Twitter or something and tried to get him fired from one of his other jobs. And he's decided he doesn't want to do it. But I think it would just be they're just working people there. I think they will carry it on.
Yeah, I imagine it could be something like that. But hey, if he wants to stop, good for him. He had a good run. That's all that matters. Yeah, but you should.
Yeah, but no, that's a really good podcast.
They are. Conrad Thompson does do very, very good podcasts. Indeed. Well, Tom, thank you much for your time. And thank you, as always, for being a Patreon member. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Again, patreon.com/Simon316 is what makes all this possible. Join the Facebook group. Just search for Simon Miller's Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm on Twitter at Simon316. Tom, where are you on Twitter?
What am I? I can't even remember. At Anson Tom, I think I am. I think it's just my name.
You're right. You're at Anson_Tom. So everyone go follow him. I will actually admit, I'm actually taking a little bit of a social media break at the moment. We won't get into the reasons why, but I haven't been on Twitter all week, and it's been somewhat glorious. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But either way, thank you very much for downloading this. Thank you very much, Linda Simon's Pro Wrestling Podcast. And yeah, just keep go to youtube.com/the-middle-report-rules. Got a new channel called Rock Reacts, where me and John Denton literally just react to music. It's oddly fun. And that's it. Have great weeks. Keep enjoying yourself. Get ready for WrestleMania. Any ideas, make sure you send them my way. But anyway, I will chat to you very soon.